Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raw is Ginger.
Well, everybody, welcome to um, another Raw as Ginger, and we don't have a Toner with us to gloat that he managed to get every single prediction bar two, was it?
R2.
Bar two.
We'll just get it out the way right now. I mean, if you hadn't guessed from the thumbnail title of We Got Pumped,
Yeah, we did.
it was the Royal We, Kev and I, for those that didn't watch the prediction video, we had identical match cards. And to clarify, everybody, we did record separately if you couldn't tell from the audio quality of each video. Because we are just that damn good. I'd recorded mine on Thursday. Kev recorded his
Mhm.
Friday afternoon, and Toner was Friday evening. And it went up on Friday night. So we all had our different cards. Kev and I both got 4 of the matches wrong out
Yep.
of it was 8 matches, wasn't it?
Seven.
7. 4 out of 7. I was trying to give myself credit with saying 50%, not bad, but no, less than
No,
50. I'm
less than
fucked.
50. Yeah.
Less than 50. But there was one that that we all got wrong. So anybody saying that they predicted that, they're a fucking liar, because I've checked several match reports after we have recorded this. And yeah, they all got it wrong.
Yeah.
And Toner himself got 2 wrong. So
Yep.
we had plenty of only a smart man messages. For those
Yeah.
that aren't
I just kept deleting the ones. I saw them. I said, not delete.
yeah. I just messaged like, so did you watch it? And he went, yes. And that was all I said. And I was like, this is when you see only a smart man. He was like, you know, like you dick. It's worse. It was worse when he doesn't gloat, because you're just like, come on, just something in for us to like. It's like, no, just somebody that they see you coming, and I'm like, fuck off. Well, I don't care. Like the channel isn't monetized anyway yet, so fuck you.
Exactly.
Fuck you, Vince McMahon. I'm sure you were behind some of this. Actually, no, fuck you, Triple H. I'm pretty sure you were behind it, because the ones we didn't see coming are ones that are probably ones for the Triple H regime. Because we were like,
Probably.
because ones that we were thinking, let's be honest, we were thinking with Vince heads, phrasing, but we were thinking with the mindset of Vince McMahon. Either way, that sentence is shit. But
Yep.
yeah, any wrestling fan will get the way that we were thinking. Toner
Yeah.
went with the creative new vision, and like the way everything was going in that direction, and he humped us. So
Yep.
Triple H must have something. What, he must have slipped some betting slip into him.
He must have done.
And if he did, can we get the profits for it? We need to keep building the channels. Anyway, overall, it looks like the event itself was held pretty positively. People seem to react strongly to the British crowds, which,
Mhm.
let's face it, it's us. We don't get a lot of PLEs over here now, so we were thoroughly enjoying it.
Mhm.
And overall, it's been received pretty well. By critics. I haven't read any of the checked like the Meltzer reports or Cage Match, but then again, I don't.
I was looking at them earlier today, and they seem to be, you know, fairly enjoying the direction it's going.
Hmm,
So obviously Vince has paid them.
yeah, probably. I mean, if it's Meltzer that's enjoying it, then there's definitely been a backhander somewhere.
He says that it's been the first like main event that WWE has done that wasn't just bland and the same,
Hmm.
because
Well,
the past three have changed it up. I mean, up until WrestleMania, everything was boring and it was the same, and you knew it was coming. But
I'll
ever since
give.
WrestleMania, things
Hmm.
have changed a bit.
I'll maybe include Elimination Chamber into that card as well, because
Mm,
even though some of the results were the same, you saw the seeds being planted.
yeah,
Like there was points where, I mean, don't get me wrong, like Sami Zayn got royally pumped out of
yeah,
that, but the fact that they got to that stage where we thought this could be possible, this
hmm
could actually happen, that was showing that there was seeds being planted. But I do agree. I think from WrestleMania onwards, what there has been changes, like, for positives. The only one that I
Yeah.
can, and the one that I can see where there's been a marked positive from this PLE was the women's Money in the Bank, but we shall get to that as we are going over the results, which we are going to start with now with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Damian Priest defeating Butch, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Match that lasted 20 minutes and 25 seconds, the second longest match of the night. Now, we both went with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
And I still stand by that, in fairness.
Yeah. I wanted LA Knight to win.
Everybody wanted LA Knight to win. Like, my heart wanted LA Knight to win. My gut said Logan Paul, and in a way, I'm still quite glad that it didn't happen.
Oh yeah,
but
I wouldn't have been glad.
I wouldn't have been as pissed off though as like all the other people that were going to be, because they were like practically holding up, if Logan Paul wins, we riot, like signs, and I'm like, I wouldn't have rioted. Like, he's doing a job, he's doing it much better than people expect, and when you do that in any type of work, you should be getting, like, bits of pushes and bits of rewards. Like, you should be like kind of ascending. I wouldn't have maybe had them, going for title, like, big titles. I would have had them maybe going even intercontinental with Gunther. I think he could give him a good match. He'd be a good dance partner, even though. And Logan Paul can definitely take some punishment. I mean, that move that him and who's the other guy that, like, the one that he went through it, and basically like they could have like cracked their skulls or broke their necks. During that match.
I think it was either Santos or Ricochet.
Something like that. I think Ricochet was the Royal Rumble one. I think that's one was Santos.
That's what it was.
Like, that spot, I was genuinely like, well, I don't care, like, what you think of the guy, as long as he was okay, as long as they were both all right, and they both came out relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, during the build-up to this match, you had LA Knight coming out saying that he makes videos for 14-year-old girls. So it's not half wrong. He makes videos for children.
Yeah.
And then they see him coming to the wrestling, so they'll watch the wrestling.
Yeah.
That's a new generation of fans. That's what they're trying to do. I understand why they bring people like that in.
Yeah.
They brought in Bad Bunny, who, again, that match that he had with Damian Priest in Puerto Rico, that was fantastic.
Yeah. I think maybe that match is actually why Priest has got to where he's got to with this result, because it was a bit of a left field for a lot of people, except for fucking Toner. Anyway, it was left field for most people, because most people were thinking LA Knight because he's over. Although Kevin Nash ripped him apart. Don't know if you see, for anybody that's not seen it, Kevin Nash was basically saying that he was just a rip-off of The Rock, but not as charismatic. And I'm like, well, every wrestler is a rip-off of somebody. Kevin Nash was a rip-off of Diesel. Diesel was a rip-off of every other big man slapping meat wrestler known to man. And he was also the title holder of one of the worst generations in the WWE's history. So nobody's perfect, mate.
Yeah.
But we all bought in.
Because Kevin Nash had a run-in with him at Impact. But this was as Kevin Nash was leaving Impact and he was coming back to WWE for a run. And LA Knight, which was Eli Drake at the time, had a big thing backstage, and he was saying to all these people, look, he's here for the money. We're here for the wrestling. He's here for a payday. He doesn't need to wrestle.
Yeah. And
that's what started all the hatred between them.
Yeah. Justifiable, for both sets, I would say. I would say that, Kevin Nash, you could be like, look, you only know about me, you don't know me. Although everybody would just assume, that's what it is, because, well, we were all there in the WCW days. LA Knight could also be like, look, we're here to wrestle, and put our boys on the line like you did back in the day. But I did like that. I mean, that verbal exchange with LA Knight and Logan Paul on the SmackDown before Money in the Bank, I think that was some of the best promo work that either of them have done in a little while.
Aye,
They seem to have good chemistry. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing an LA Knight Logan Paul match further down the line.
I think that's
yeah.
what they're going to run with for a bit. Just to build up LA Knight as like somebody who can do what he says.
Yeah. And again, with Damian Priest like getting the briefcase, I think I was more surprised because the matches he's been in, he's not really had a lot of wins. But I think it's maybe been more a reward for the types of losses that he's taken. Like that match against Bad Bunny at Backlash was, in my opinion, is one of the best celebrity wrestling matches thus far in history.
Yeah.
But from the ones that I've watched anyway. That's me kind of giving a spoiler alert for next week's episode of Top 5 actors turned wrestlers. But anyway, that's another story. But or like celebrities turned wrestlers. But the point stands, like you're only as good as the person you're dancing with.
Yeah.
And they worked so well together. And I think maybe it was like, look, you helped us create a great moment in what's still considered a B card PLE. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
Give him the briefcase. And it will be depending on what he does, will depend on how long he keeps it as well. Because I mean, you look at Otis, for example. He had it twice, and both times just nothing happened, nothing materialized. Which was a bit of a good get for big fat gingery guys like myself. We all root for big ginger fat men.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I can see why. I can understand why they've put it on him. There's all this build up with Judgment Day. They've got Rhea Ripley as champion. They had Finn going for the belt. He's not won it. Damian Priest won his match.
Yeah.
I can see this getting a build up as them chucking Finn out.
Yeah.
Damian Priest taking over.
Yeah, and there's been some other things kind of going on as well.
Yeah.
Which we will get into because some of them do tie into the matches that we are going to talk about.
Yep.
But
so that's how I can understand why they've given it to him. Over this past year with the Judgment Day stuff, he has been consistently there on TV, at the live shows, all these other events and stuff. And his face is out there.
Yeah.
And people are liking him. Even though he's a heel, he's a bad guy. They're not supposed to like him, but they're liking him.
Yeah. Same as like Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
They like
everybody's
her.
Supposed to hate her, but everybody loves her.
Yeah, they're liking her in the kind of Stone Cold style, anti-authority.
Yeah. And then you've got Dominic in the stable as well, who everybody just hates.
Yeah. But it's like, how like
he goes to speak on the mic and everybody just boos.
Yeah.
And he loves it. He's loving it. You can just see him.
Of course, he's found the thing is good. He's no longer just being known as Rey Mysterio's kid. Yeah. He's being known as that we get that's banging Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Well, in kayfabe, obviously, like he's happily engaged. Good on him. But yeah.
And so is she to somebody else.
Yes, and also, yeah, very happy. But yeah, when that chemistry's there, we all pray.
I don't know if you've seen the exchanges.
Yeah.
Between Dominic and Buddy.
Yeah.
I've been watching that. It's quite funny. Because you know that they're actually really good friends in real life. And it's like, you just see it. It's like, it's so funny.
Yeah. It is brilliant. Like, a lot of it is really good. And again, like, Dominic's like found his character as the heel that everybody loves to hate.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and this is high praise for me, but kind of like what Kurt Angle was for our generation. No one denied his ability. No one denied like what he had, like the pedigree that he had. And when he was face, but when he was
worked a wee bit,
it worked at points. But when he was a heel, we loved it. we loved like because he was all the clean cut golden boy, won the medals with a broken freaking neck. What and the "you suck" chants came in, and like we were
Yeah.
all just like, let's just do this. And what and it was purely like a term of endearment. Like we have to sing this because you're so good at what you do that we have to sing "you
Yeah.
suck." But anytime you watched a match with him, you knew you were in for a clinic.
Oh, aye.
But it's the same like kind of like I mean we'll get on the Dominic's match in a little bit, but star rating like because I managed to catch up on all of them as well, like courtesy of just YouTubing the hell out of it. What and anywhere I could find what WWE, if you want to give me access to the network, like so we can keep doing positive reviews, like I would appreciate it because I have no money. But until then, I'm just gonna have to torrent and like try and find any other ways around it. But overall, I would say this was maybe if I had to go for the star rating, I would go 3 out of 5. Well, it was a perfectly good opening card. What there was a shock kind of winner for me, but overall, I think it was solid, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah. I'd probably give it about 2.5 because there was people in there that had no real right to be in it. It's like you're trying to push people. You want to have people that are like higher mid card. You want to have them in it. Butch, sadly, isn't higher mid card. He should be. His in-ring ability is fantastic, but they've not pushed him. They've put him in with Sheamus, and they've just had him as a side piece.
Yeah. But I do think it was good that way in the sense of there was no one that was an established upper like card guy. There was no one that had ever won it before. There was no one that had ever really won a title before. So it really felt like it was up for grabs. Like even though you had your short list, you felt like
I mean
they could they could spring a surprise. And in fairness, they kind of did.
Yeah. I mean you've got Shinsuke Nakamura who's a world title holder.
Yeah.
Intercontinental.
But in terms of like and it's just like well, also
recently, they've none of them have had much.
Yeah,
there's been no push for them.
Nakamura, I genuinely forgot he was still there. Like I
knew
he was around, but I was like, just like they don't. I think they thought with AJ Styles it was going to be they would get it, but the magic just wasn't there.
Yeah,
and they're like, you held us up in too high a pedestal. I'm like, no, you put yourselves on that pedestal. That's the whole point. Yeah. You raised the bar. You have to. So anything will be below that standard. Just the way it is.
I mean, the match itself was a good opening match. It did sort of build you up. It didn't sort of go right. What am I in for now?
Yeah,
but
it did exactly what it needed
because of the people that were in it. That's why I'm giving it 2.5.
Yeah, well, yeah, it did exactly what it needed to do.
Cause some controversy. Toner's not here.
Oh, don't worry. Like I'm going to end up causing controversy in the next one. Well, so because the next one was the shock of the year at this time of recording. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler by pinfall for the women's tag championships. With a shocking turn, and the time was 9 minutes on the button.
And this is one that we all got wrong.
We all got wrong. And
none of us got this right.
Because we all would have got it right if we knew what we knew after the match had finished, because Rousey's winding her contract down.
Yep.
So she's
But they kept that quiet until after.
They deliberately did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then everybody would have known.
Yeah. The shock was for me was the only part about this match that I was like fair to's. It was like didn't see it coming. No one saw it coming. If you did, you were a liar. There was no build. There was no kind of.
If you saw it coming, you were the writer.
Yeah.
And the producer.
See, if Toner got this right, I would have been asking serious questions of his card counting ability, but he didn't. So that's why I'm just like, nah, he's just good at what he does. Dick.
And the reason I said that Ronda and Shayna were going to keep the titles was basically because this whole deal with UFC that went through, and Endeavour owning both of them now, I was like, they're going to build this up to something bigger. They're going to keep the title on them for at least another 3-6 months.
Yeah. I thought they
Build
were.
up this UFC is
Mhm.
better,
Yeah.
and then that'll build to Survivor Series.
Yeah. And they could have
That's
led
what
to
I
like,
was thinking.
yeah, cross promotion kind of opportunities.
Yeah, but then it's just completely out of left field, and Shayna just
Yeah.
turns her back on Ronda,
Yeah.
and it's like, I mean, I didn't see it coming, but when I was watching, I was like, oh my god.
hmm It was something that I genuinely think with this match, you know how when I say like a lot of people were thinking with the main event that no matter what the result, everybody was going to win.
Yeah,
This was a match where I felt that everybody lost because
yeah,
Liv and Raquel don't look like credible tag champions. They don't.
yeah,
To
because
me,
they've won because of a backstab.
yeah, they don't look
So
credible.
I
The
know.
titles don't look credible because the whole point of having Rousey and Shayna was that it built up the titles to give them credibility. Them dropping it so quickly and then the way they've dropped it gives it no credibility. So I have a feeling they're just gonna like flush it down the toilet, which they shouldn't do.
Yeah,
But with the way that Shayna Baszler turned, you don't know who's the heel and who's the face either. Like, because if you're looking at it in the world of kayfabe, Baszler's a dick. She just
yeah,
stabbed her partner in the back. But on the other hand, everyone fucking hates Ronda Rousey
yeah,
because we just think she's a dick. Well, so you don't know who you're going to side with.
yeah,
So they have really booked themselves into, ironically, the corner behind me.
yeah,
They have to figure out. They have to have a solid plan of what they're going to do because you
yeah,
don't want what Rousey being like, right, I'm leaving, but I'm going to try and get Baszler over before I go. And it just turns out to be essentially like what they done with her build up to WrestleMania. They build her up
yeah,
to be an absolute beast, and then they just pull the rug out from under her.
yeah.
So for me, like it just
And
for me,
I was
two
going to say,
stars. Sorry, like two
yeah,
stars. 1.5 is my lowest, but two is a just because of the turn.
yeah. I mean, I would give it 1.5 because what I think should have happened if they were going to do this turn, they should have had Liv and Raquel Rodriguez winning clean
Mm-hmm.
over Ronda,
Yeah.
and then Shayna turns her back. That's how
Aye.
I would have played it out because then it
Aye.
gives legitimacy to the win.
Yeah.
They won it clean, and
Yeah,
it's
like they
not
get
like they can't.
yeah, because
I
like they
mean,
get the
Liv
pin,
Morgan's yeah,
and then you get the pin, and all of a sudden there's maybe like Ronda being like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Shoving like, say, like it's your fault. You didn't do any
you didn't
interference.
break the count. Aye,
Break the count, and she just goes and lamps her. What, and it's just like, "Nah, screw you," and off she goes. What?
yeah,
It's just that's. I think that maybe that's us looking at it from the old school style, like the
yeah,
marks as they call them, from the
yeah.
marks side.
But again, like you said, it doesn't give legitimacy to the win.
No,
So
it,
it's like how is this going to play out?
no, and it just makes the women's tag division look like a joke.
Yeah,
And it shouldn't be.
no.
Like,
And Liv Morgan has recently had the world title, the
yeah,
women's world title.
yeah, she
Raquel
had that last year.
Rodriguez is like one of the best to come up from NXT for a
Mm,
long time,
yeah.
and putting them together, it's like one of the most unlikely pairings. But when you've seen the matches that they've had, it's like they're really good. They work
Mm-hmm.
really well together.
Yeah.
They could potentially be the next winners, but
Yeah.
because of the way they've done it, it's like I didn't. I mean, the match itself, it was it was a good match, but
Mm,
then that whole bit at the end, it's like
yeah.
it just
I,
shat on everything
yeah.
before it.
I just wasn't a big fan of the match at all. Like I've seen Morgan and Raquel work better
Yeah,
tonight. That night just didn't really click as well. What and that's not for lack of trying,
mm-hmm.
but when you're in a ring with two women that could genuinely rip you apart like chicken wings,
Yeah,
there is a natural kind of how are they going to do this? What they probably thought this is the only way they could do it to give it legitimacy and like keep like the UFC chicks like
yeah,
seeming like badasses, but everybody just came out a loser for me,
yeah,
which was sad. Well, because I am a massive advocate for women's wrestling. Well, because I know how good they can be,
Oh yeah,
they're just being booked wrong.
yeah.
But then ironically, again, we move into another one that I personally didn't rate was Gunther defeating Matt Riddle in a singles match for the Intercontinental Championship, the shortest match of the night at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. I made it
It was
clear
about
for
7 minutes. It was about 7 minutes too long.
yeah. It shouldn't have just been on. Shouldn't have been on. The only reason it was on was for McIntyre to come back. I personally think. And even then, I'm not a fan of Matt Riddle. I don't get the appeal. I don't like him. He's like RVD without the charisma.
Yeah.
RVD had charisma. I'm not saying that Matt Riddle doesn't have skill because he's a legitimate badass. Like he could destroy somebody. Anybody that goes into a ring not wearing boots and can still kick the crap out of you and still be standing. Fair play to them.
Yeah.
But I just don't like his whole. The one we're talking about LA Knight, and Kevin Nash saying, am I the only one that thinks it's just a copy of The Rock? He's too copy of RVD.
Yeah.
He's like trying to be like a tall, like really, really skinny RVD. And it just doesn't work. And he's just an arrogant prat as well. If you're meant to be playing a guy like RVD, you have to be likable, approachable. Someone that you would be like, you know what, I don't smoke weed, but I would fucking light one up with you in a heartbeat, mate. Riddle, I would rather like hit him with the bong.
Yeah.
Than anything else. I do not like him. I don't see what the appeal is. And the only advantage of this was I just thought, please, Gunther, just squash him, just destroy him. He didn't even do that properly. They just had Riddle almost trying to be competitive, and I'm like, don't, just fucking kill him.
It's because Gunther knows how to tell a story.
Yeah. He's not called the Ring General for nothing.
Exactly. He goes in, no matter who he goes in the ring with, he knows that they need to tell a story for whether it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour. He goes in, this is what you do. That's your start point. That's your end point.
Yeah.
These are spots that you need to do. This is your time limit.
Yeah.
And he can plan that out in his head and say to the other person, right, what about this, this, and this? And like 9 out of 10 times, people are, that's fine, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he's been in the business for so long, he knows.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just a filler match. They needed matches to fill the card.
Mm-hmm. There was no real build to it either.
It was basically like 2 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, right, you're fighting him for the Intercontinental title. He's not going to win it, but that's the match. But we're bringing Drew back, who's possibly going to win it at a SummerSlam.
Who I personally still think is not the right guy to take the title off him. I still think it should be Sheamus.
Yeah.
To get to have him,
Grand Slam.
Grand Slam. And that's it. But we are where we are. It's the whole thing about, McIntyre was going to walk. And it's not me trying to downplay a Scotsman. I'm proud Scottish. We all know this. But I just think for booking, it would be better on Sheamus. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind.
You're just biased because he's ginger. That's all it is.
I will not deny that either. But this is where I'm torn. Sheamus is ginger, McIntyre Scottish. I'm okay with both. I think it's because we were so close with Clash at the Castle with McIntyre and Reigns. That's the level he should be at.
Yeah.
And he should be staying there consistently. But the stranglehold is just that's been caused by this Reigns bloodline saga. Well, good for long-term storytelling. Has crushed everybody else that to be an upper player.
Yeah.
So now you have a guy who got dealt the shittest hand in the world, being the world champion during the pandemic.
Yep.
Now being going back down and have to try and build himself back up for the Intercontinental title. Gunther has credibility. I think that if he is booked to beat Gunther, it will help him get back up the card. So I can understand it. I just feel like they shouldn't have screwed McIntyre over in the first place.
Yeah.
But again, we are where we are. Fair dues. Just I don't want Riddle anywhere near. I want Riddle just dropped right down the card. I want him like even if they brought back Cruiserweight, I wouldn't want him winning it. Want him gone. Just the merger's there. Send him back. Send him to UFC. Send him to OBW. Send him to fucking China. I don't care. Just get him out of there. Okay, he's a flight risk. He's a complete and utter flight risk.
I'm not Riddle's biggest fan either.
No.
I can see that he knows how to fight, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
He is a legitimate fighter.
Yeah, you don't square up to Brock Lesnar and live without having some sort of legitimacy.
Exactly.
Like in real life, he squared up to Lesnar and he survived.
But like you said, he's RVD light.
Mm-hmm. And how ironic it was sponsored by Bud Light.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, or in Riddle's case, he's Blunt Light.
Yeah.
But for me, 2 stars.
I'd go 1.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was a non-entity match. There was no reason for it to be.
It's like the match.
If they were going to have somebody fighting for the title, they could have built it up more. They knew this event was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And it's like it was thrown together.
Yeah. I think
it's like who wants to come to London? And it's like and nobody wants to go. It's like that.
Yeah. I did kind of feel like it went through the who wants to be the next lamb to the slaughter for Gunther for a PLE, and everybody went no. Okay, it's him.
Yeah.
But at least we know who was blurred out of the photo, like the behind the scenes photo now. That was Drew.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that I gave it a higher into 2 was again Drew coming back, and because Gunther he knows what to do. Yeah. He knows how to work.
Even at that, Drew McIntyre coming back, it's like they could have done that on a Raw.
Yeah.
Or a SmackDown.
That's true. That's true. I'm gonna give that one. So we move on to the next match. Cody Rhodes defeating Dominic Mysterio, who was accompanied by Rhea Ripley, in a singles match which lasted 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, a lot of people have been shitting on this match. Mm-hmm. And while I did not expect the outcome that, came out, I'm not shitting on it as much as everybody else is. I think it was passable compared to the other 2.
Yeah. I mean, it done what it done.
Mm-hmm. And it needed to do.
It's building Cody up.
Yeah,
because he's took these losses against Brock. He's going to get some wins, build himself back up. He's going to get his win against Brock. Then he's going to keep fighting. He's going to get a title run before he retires.
Yeah. Now let's be honest though. Do you think that our outcomes would have been more likely if the PLE was over in America? I personally think that was the case. I think Brock Brock doesn't like flying. He doesn't like traveling. No. He's made that clear. I think the
only reason he travels to Saudi Arabia is because they pay him $10 million for that one show.
Yep.
Because he said that's the only reason I'll go. Right, we'll give you it. Is that what every time? Yep. And the Saudis foot half the bill.
Yep.
That's why they've said it's such a high number.
I know.
But all the other ones, is not going.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, like a lot of people say that, Brock's just part-timer and stuff like that. And I've been guilty of saying it as well. But
yeah, he is a part-timer though.
Yeah,
he's built himself up to that level that he can be a part-timer. It's the same with Roman Reigns. He's a part-time champion though. That's what I don't understand. Putting the main title on a part-timer. I didn't like it when they done it with Brock either.
No.
Even though Brock did defend the title more than what Roman has over his run.
Yeah. His run was considerably shorter though.
But
at the same time, I do get it though. I do get it, but at the same time, Brock like you said, he's built his rep to be that guy.
Yeah.
And he knows what he wants. He knows the business. He's not treating it like anything other than business.
Yeah.
He is a Vince model.
Yeah,
He's just like this is business. This is what I'll do, and this is how much I'll do it for. You either meet me with that or I bolt, and that's
yeah.
it. Like, do I do I think that if this was set over in America, somewhere relatively close to his home, that you know that outcome would have been the way we thought it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just stupidly did not think Brock does not like to travel. Why didn't I think of that?
I just thought there would be interference from like, somebody that would
Yeah,
cost Cody the match.
yeah. And I think it was a case of that. I mean, there was interference, just not from someone who they could have legitimately had be that person to cause it. Ripley
Yeah.
is, I think it should have been Ripley, like, costing the match and build her up more as like, not like China 2.0, because there'll never be another China, but
Oh
someone who
no.
you can hang with both men and women. Like if they just went right and lamped you, you would go down. Well,
Yeah.
and when Ripley's got that in her, you see some
I
of her,
wouldn't pick a fight well.
you see some of her behind the scenes like videos and her doing the workouts. Fucking hell, she is a tank. She can go.
There's one that I saw and she's like lifting the weights and she's holding it, and then
Yeah.
the camera pans and you just see Sheamus going,
Mm-hmm. It's true.
yeah,
It's so true. Well, so yeah, it wasn't. Well, it was like the result was just like, eh, damn it, Toner's right
yeah,
again. Well, it was when you look at it in the way that it went down. There wasn't really another way it could have went. It was just me dumbly forgetting Brock doesn't travel.
yeah.
Well, but
I mean,
I would say
nobody came out of this match any worse.
no. I wouldn't say so. Well, I wouldn't. I mean, Dominic, like, he's still a heel. People
Yeah,
still love to boo him. They love to see him get his ass handed to him. Well, and if you can get your ass handed to you and not lose credibility in the ring, then why not play it?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's coming out with Rhea Ripley on his side. So yeah, he's stuck. What I think if that ever splits, then there's a challenge there for him.
Possibly, but I think he's built it up so much now that he
Mm.
could
He
go
could.
by himself and
He,
it'd still be a legitimate heel because he would find ways to do it.
mm. I think so. I think you would need to
And
maybe
you
if
could see during this match that before the interference and that, he was thinking of things to do.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like
And
turnbuckle and stuff like
that's
that.
how,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's how he keeps building himself up as this ultimate heel.
yeah.
And right now, there isn't actually anybody that is as much of a heel as he is.
Mm.
Because even though with the rest of Judgment Day, they don't do things like that.
True.
Because Finn Balor's a legitimate fighter. He goes, I'll just go.
Yeah, yeah. He does just go for it.
Damian Priest uses his ability
Mm-hmm.
and like for his size, he's very agile.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching the Undertaker in his early days,
Aye.
where like jumping over the top rope and things like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't expect that from people that are that big,
Yeah.
and so that's what they use. Rhea Ripley goes into the matches herself as well
Mm-hmm.
because she can. She's legitimately got to that point where she can just go in, kick everybody's arse, and then walk back out.
Yeah. True.
Whereas Dominic, he is the ultimate heel. He needs a manager. He needs somebody there, but he's building it up so that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helping build these heels up so people can come in and take him down.
Yeah.
But he's still up here.
Mm.
So
I
this
would.
match didn't do anything to belittle Cody or Dominic, I don't think.
Well, I don't think there really was like a loser in it. Like,
Yeah.
aside from like officially on the match card. I think good match. Nothing really, nothing to write home about, but
Yeah.
better than the ones that were before it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'll go 2.5.
Yeah. Totally agree with you there. 2.5.
Mm.
I could have possibly pushed it to a 3 because of, they both stuck to their characters. They both told the story that was needing to be told to push them both. But it's just, again, I don't think there was enough time for the match as well. If it was a wee bit longer, like even if it was like an extra 5 minutes, I think it would have helped them build the story up a bit more and build their stories that's coming for them at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
think
just
so.
they were given a really short amount of time. I mean, this was one of the shortest matches, I think.
It was the second shortest behind Gunther and Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
But only 20 seconds less than Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
But speaking of the women, we move into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match with with Io Sky defeating Bayley, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark in a match that was 18 minutes and 5 seconds. Now, for me, in terms of like the wrestling ability, this was the match of the night for me.
Yeah.
I thought this was fucking good because it had just enough of storylines through all their characters to keep you engaged. The spots were brutal. When it comes to like those types of matches, and again, like as much as for anybody that was watching, Kev and I, we were at like a networking event that night, so we never caught it live. Well, at least the full thing. We caught this live, and we were screaming at our phones for Io Sky not to win because Toner had her down his fucking card, and we both had Becky Lynch. But
and it was looking so close.
It was so close. But it was because they built it so well. They had us literally on the edge of the car seats, being like looking at your phone, like, come on, fucking do it. And it wasn't. I genuinely felt at points like anybody could win. And that's what you like about those type of matches where someone can go for it, but in the end, they did actually make the right call because Io Sky is over. So fair play to her. Got to give it the dues. And it had the wee twists as well, where it had Bayley turning on Io Sky, and then that bit with the handcuffs, just handcuffing Becky Lynch and Bayley together, and then just been like ding 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 ding, woohoo, got it. I was like, as much as I hate that Toner just won this card, it was an inventive finish. I liked it.
Yeah.
And there was good spots. Trish showing that she can still go, because it looked like she took a really bad knock to her face at one point as well.
Off the side of the table.
Yeah. There was lots of very risky spots on that, and they all just put it out there. The only thing I just don't get is I just don't understand why Trish is back in general. There's nothing for her character really to do. I get why in the terms of story, but
it's to help push Zoe Stark. They're bringing her back so that she can be the mouthpiece, because she's not quite there. Her in-ring ability's there.
Yeah.
But she's not as good on the promos, whereas Trish is great with her promos.
Trish is fucking fantastic. She's always been great. Even before her wrestling ability caught up with her, she was fantastic on the mic.
Yeah, that's why they've given Trish her to mentor her, to build her up, teach her how the women's division do promos, because it's completely different how they do them to how the men do them.
Yeah,
and it's an art form. And Trish found how to do it during the Attitude Era. And that's how they've brought her back to help build up this new talent whose in-ring ability is spot on. She's just not quite there with the promos and stuff.
Yeah.
But she's getting there. You can see that she's getting there. And that's why they've brought her back.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Well, and fair play. She could have just been, the manager or the mouthpiece, but she's still going in the ring. Well, and it's not me. It wasn't me slating Trish in the slightest. Far from it. I was just thinking kind of, why does her character need to be there? But now I do kind of get it. Well, I do kind of understand it. There could be other ways to kind of implement it though. But it also led to a very interesting one. There was a slip from the ring announcer that Bailey was part of the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ever since that slip, people have been saying, "Oh, looks like there's going to be a new member of the Judgment Day." Do you honestly see that happening? Because personally, I don't.
I don't see that happening. I think it's just
I think it was just a slip.
notes have get slipped up. It's like, oh no, it's not Judgment Day. Never mind.
Yeah, I think so. Well, because I just don't see that would require for even for heel Bailey, it would require a drastic shift.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think it's quite there yet, especially because Rhea Ripley's in there.
Yeah.
The only way I could see it is if there was like, she's trying to kind of worm her way in and Ripley doesn't like it and knocks the 7 bells of shit out of her.
Mm.
It's the only way that I could see it, but no. But for me, this match itself, match of the night. Well,
Yeah.
I was easily 4 stars for it.
I would say about 3.5.
Mm.
Just because,
Toner.
no, but it's just some of the people that were in it, I don't think they got as many spots as what they should have to show off how they can do things.
Yeah, because there was a lot of points where we were like, if they were
Where's
having
everybody
points,
else?
yeah, like they were having like the like Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and we're like, okay, where's Io Sky?
Yeah.
And Io Sky come out and Bailey, and we're like, okay, where's Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch? Like,
Yeah.
what? This is something that they all are wanting to fight for. Where the feck are they?
Yeah.
Because the only person you could realistically see being down and out for that long, just because of their age, was to be Trish Stratus. Be like, hold on, like I need about 2 or 3 minutes to get myself rolled over.
Yeah.
Well, whereas the rest of them are all relatively in peak physical condition. Like,
Yeah.
there should at least be some action going on in the ring. There should be some action going on outside the ring. Well, it just felt too kind of. That's the only reason it didn't get higher for me, was that it felt too disjointed. It was just like, right, and we'll stop here, and the camera is focused on there. Right, you guys, you just can have a breather. I think ever since that whole thing with the pandemic, when they still had them rolling during the adverts, and just seen them just chilling and chatting, I'm like, that's kind of what you notice these things now. It's like when you do it. It's like when you do extra work and you always look at the people in the background to see what they're doing after that in the show.
I know.
Yeah, but for me, this was the highlight of the match for me. Like, it was something that, again, like, I think women's wrestling's taken a wee bit of a step back lately. Under this new regime, and I don't think it's fair. I think that's been a result of Stephanie being kicked out. I think you need her back to really elevate this again.
Yeah, well, it's not that she was kicked out. She just walked because Vince was coming back.
Yeah,
and she's like, I cannot work under my dad again.
Yeah, I understand that. I think it was maybe a case of it was like, it's like leave or be fired.
Yeah,
I think realistically that's probably what could happen. And if she's chose to leave because of that, fair dues. Because I mean, we know what it's like. We wouldn't want to work under our parents either. Jesus Christ.
No.
Right. So then we move on. Was this when Cena had his come out?
No, Cena was in between.
Was in between Rhodes and the Women's Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole like him trying to get like, yeah, bring WrestleMania to London. And then having the whole heel thing, like just a filler. Surprised Cena came out to the UK, got to give it the dues.
It was already out filming anyway.
Yeah. I don't see WrestleMania coming to the UK. I don't see it. Especially, I don't see it for WrestleMania 40 anyway. I don't see that.
No, 40's already been picked.
Yeah.
41, possibly.
Mm.
It's an odd number. They're like, okay, we need a filler WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I would say
so. They could easily do it. And the thing is, any time that they have had a premium live event in the UK as a whole, whether it's Manchester, Newcastle, Wembley, Glasgow, SEC, whatever, every single time it sells out. Any wrestling event that comes to the UK sells out.
Yep. It's because we're starved of it.
Yeah. Which is why the ICW and stuff like that, they're getting so much more people coming in because of that. They just want to see live wrestling.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I think the Cena thing was just it was a middle finger to AEW because they're coming over. Well, and they'll be like, okay, you're gonna bring your stuff over. Fair dues. Let's see if we can get WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically just what it felt like for me. Whether it happens or not in the next year or 2 years, who knows? What would I love to see WrestleMania come to the UK? Absolutely. What?
Yeah.
What? And at least wait 2 or 3 years so we're built up and then we can maybe get a couple tickets.
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I forgot about that. I couldn't remember if it was between Money in the Bank and then this match or what Rhodes and then Money in the Bank, but that's what it was. So there we go.
Yeah.
But then we had Seth freaking Rollins defeating Finn Balor by pinfall, singles match, World Heavyweight Championship, one that we all got right. It was 12 minutes, 30 seconds. Credible performance. What you know what you're gonna get with these guys. They work, they graft. If you ever want two people to, do the dance with to kind of help get a title's credibility, going again, it's these two.
Yeah.
The only thing that sold it for me was the whole running out looking like he was going to cash it in, and then it's like nobody's like, no, I've got it's back of my head, blah blah blah, and and it's looking like, and now it's looking like there's going to be fractures with the Judgment Day, and I'm like, no, because we're finally going to start getting rid of the bloodline. From the way this is looking, we need to keep one heel faction, and this is the faction that's still got traction. I know that rhymes, but that's the whole point. That faction's got traction. Get that hashtag going.
The whole thing about Damien Priest coming out, though, I thought that was going to be the start of the fracture of the Judgment Day.
Yeah,
because it's because Finn, like when they were going to have the match with Damien Priest and Seth Rollins at Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh yeah, you're going to have one of the shortest runs with a title. He's like, no, I'm already one day ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of started to build the heat between Finn and Damien Priest.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed that when they were doing like the promos and stuff in London, the Judgment Day done the walking over Abbey Road.
Yeah.
And Finn Balor walked across in bare feet. Because the whole thing was Paul was dead and he was replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Finn's doing it bare feet because he can be replaced.
Yeah. It's the conspiracies.
Because Damien Priest, one of the original members. Rhea Ripley, one of the original members. Edge was kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
Finn can be kicked out.
Yeah.
So that's how I can see it. Who are they going to get in, though, to be the leader? Damien Priest steps up.
It's true.
Because Finn Balor hasn't won a match. He's passed 5 matches.
Yeah.
He's not won them.
True.
Damien Priest has only lost 1 match. And he's passed 5 matches.
Yeah.
Because he lost against Bad Bunny and then he's won. Except he didn't win against Seth. But now he's got the briefcase. And he can use that.
Yeah.
He's got more of a legitimacy to the title than what Finn has now. Because Finn goes to the back of the queue.
Yeah, true. What?
So this is how I can see that building up.
I just thought I can see how it's going to build up. What the whole kind of run out thing that was being the distraction. I get that as well. Well, looking like it was going to cash in and never actually happened. Well, I just didn't think it needed it right now because at that point we're so close to this Bloodline saga starting to finally wrap up. But this faction still has a little bit of steam in it. Don't start planting the seed. I don't know if we just started planting with those ones that you mentioned, but don't essentially put more fertilizer on it to make it go quicker.
Yeah.
But you just left it be, and then maybe like he comes out to potentially go for it. and then gets the whole kind of spanking of, nah, I ain't down yet, you ain't cashing that in, kind of thing. And then they maybe sees that backstage after the match and like, right, what the was that about?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that can be built for Raw.
Yeah.
But to start factoring that story, like, why did you do that? He's like,
Yeah.
I had a shot, I was going to take it. You didn't take it. What? And it could just be something like that. But overall, I would say match 3 stars.
Yeah, I'd give this at a push 3.5, but I'll stick with 3 just now
Mm.
because, like you said, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, put the two in a match. You know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get big spots. You're going to get, is Finn going to win this?
Mm-hmm.
Because the last time they fought, Finn won.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I did like how they had the
In
kind
fact,
of.
every time that they two have fought, Finn has won.
Yeah.
This
I
is the
did like.
only time that Seth's won.
I did like in the promo how they kind of hinted to the backstory of them from years back.
Yeah,
Like the title match that never was kind of thing.
yeah.
So I like that. A good bit of like promo work there. And speaking of the great promo work, we move into the main event, which was the Usos defeating the Bloodline of Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, with of course Paul Heyman at ringside for the Bloodline Civil War tag team match, the longest on the card by a considerable amount of 32 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yep.
In terms of storytelling, stop. They've got to the point. We've hit the peak. Stop. The promo package itself reminded me of the best Attitude Era ones. And I've
Mm-hmm.
not said that for a long time because it basically gave you the full rundown of the last few years of how this has all came about.
Yeah.
And all the near misses and how everything's just built up to this point. And you just think, wow, this was actually some really great storytelling. The points where marks like myself thought Drew should win, or thought Sammy should win, or thought Cody should win. What they bided their time, they built it to this point. What they've planted their seeds, like they've done it right, and it's had a brilliant payoff. The only reason it wasn't the best match of the night for me was because I still think that it shouldn't have been Roman that got pinned. I still think it shouldn't have been Roman that got pinned. Solo got pinned. Roman got pissed. Solo just went, nah, screw you. Buff. Like, for me, that would have been the best way to kind of round it all off.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they done it was still good.
Yeah.
Wow, you nailed that on the head, my friend. You got that right.
I got the wrong brother. I got the wrong brother.
You still got one of the
But
Usos pinning Roman.
yeah, that for
And
most
me,
of that's the way
importantly,
it
Toner
had to
got this
go.
one wrong. So fuck you, Toner. We got this one right. We have to hold on to the manufacturer triumph.
I mean, it had to be at the end of the day. It had to be Roman getting pinned for this match because they've built it and they've built it and they've built it that he's unstoppable. And the fact that it was Jay that got the pin, he was actually the first person that gave Roman his first loss in the WWE.
It's true.
And that was in 2013.
Yeah.
So that's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And
I do like that.
He's not been pinned for 3 years now.
Baron Corbin was the last one that pinned him.
In 2019, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then who does it? Jay comes out. Mm-hmm. I was the first person to pin you. I'll be the first person to break your streak.
Yeah.
And it comes full circle.
I know.
So it's just the way that they've built it. I think it's took far too long to get to this point. But, you know, I know I'm saying but, and that just invalidates your entire argument beforehand. But it's been too long to get to where it is. But I'm glad that they've got there now.
Yeah.
And it needs to wind down.
Mm-hmm. I think it's been like you say, it's been a long time. It's been long-term storytelling at its finest for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that in a few years' time, people are going to look back on it and be like, you know what, that was great. What,
Yeah,
as long as they stick the landing, they need what, because the way they've got it just now, the landing is stuck. The only thing we need to do is, get the titles off Roman.
yeah,
And that can be its own little side story because the streak itself is done. It's kind of like reminds me of the Undertaker. Like remember when Brock Lesnar pinned him and we all just sat slack-jawed like, did that actually happen?
yeah.
What? And then it kind of once we took it back, we're like, okay, right, it's happened. And then
Mm-hmm.
there was a new element to it. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't
Yeah,
great. It wasn't great because obviously Cowie's admitted himself his body was winding down at that point. While he was just couldn't keep up, hang, keep up the
yeah,
pace. But it was something that was long term storytelling,
yeah.
20 fucking years. What that was just the longest term of storytelling that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
But we were invested in it, and rightly or wrongly, we've been invested in this story because everybody's been like, it should have ended here, or there, or everywhere. What?
Yeah.
But they stuck to like their game plan.
Mm-hmm.
What? Because I genuinely think, unlike most events they've done, they actually had one this time
Yeah.
because it feels like it has built to that nice little peak, and I'm glad of that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and like a streak, instead of us all being slack jawed, going, "What the hell just happened?" We were all cheering, but also being like, "I can't believe this has happened." It's like the underdog winning, like like major European trophy or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just like, "Did that actually happen?" No, we cannot believe this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like in football in terms, Leicester won the Premier League in 2016, 5,001 odds. No one thought
Yep.
it would happen. It did, and we're just like, let's celebrate like madmen
Yeah.
because we cannot believe this.
And I can see where they're wanting to take this. They're going
Mm.
to put the belt on one of the Usos,
Mm.
but is that going to start a feud between them?
Yeah, I know, and I'm worried about that because they're such a great tag team.
They are. Like
What?
like they said, it's the longest running tag team
Mm-hmm.
in WWE ever.
Yeah, and they've basically done everything.
Yeah.
They have done everything as a tag team, so I can understand why they want to do it and they want to get someone rising up. But then I think I'm taking it more personally because I'm a dad of identical twins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want one being like one overshadows the other. So you'd be like, because as a dad, you're like, why do you think that boy's got more than that boy? They look and act the same fucking way. What? So, and it just makes me feel bad because of all the ones that kind of came that I've lost in the wake of it.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, I just don't think one of the Usos
Yeah.
should be the one to take the title off him. I do get it, but I think it should be more a case of like, they've proven he can be beaten. The
Yeah.
streak is gone. And then it's like, right, let's get the vultures circling.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, what I
Roman's
would,
got to try and build his mystique back up just a little bit. Like he gets a couple of wins, with maybe a couple of squashes here or there, builds himself back up a bit, and then it gets to like, I've still got it. I mean, there isn't anybody that can stop me, and all of a sudden it could be like Cody,
yeah.
who's been getting built back up and goes, right, I want that fucking rematch.
I mean, what I can see happening is that Solo will turn his back on him as well at some point,
Mm.
and then what they do is they do a four-way match,
Mm.
and then what happens is Roman's down, and they all pin him at the same time.
Mm.
They like all knock each other out, and they all pin him, and then they all stand up and hold one belt each. There you go.
Splits them all up.
Splits them up.
Yeah, and then you have poor Heyman, like, which one did I go to? Which one did I follow? I don't know.
I know.
But for me, in terms of the actual wrestling, 3.5. In terms of the story, the story for me has been like 4.5. Like again, like the match of the night for me is still the women's Money in the Bank. the story, what is, Bloodline by far.
Yeah. I'd give the match 3 stars because I think it went on for about 10 minutes too long.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be half an hour.
No.
Because as it got past the 20-minute mark, I was like, right, we'll start to wind it down. 25 minutes, right, we'll start to wind it down. And it just kept going. It's like, you just could have easily had other matches and then dropped the time of this one. But they didn't.
I know.
So it's like, so that's why that's a 3. For the story overall, I'm sitting about a 3 as well, just because it's been going on for far too long. I mean, there's long-term storytelling, and then there's this. Yeah. It's just gone. I think it's gone about 6 months too long.
In a way, I can see it, but for me, I think it's one of those ones where people look back in hindsight and go, "That was they made the right call," but they have to make sure that they stick this landing. They have to stick finish it here, like the Bloodline, going kablooey when it's done. And then we just have the little kind of essentially spin-off series of, right, let's try and get the belt off him. And that's like its little spin-off. End the Bloodline here, and then just carry on with a new kind of mini series from this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, overall, for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I would maybe give it, I would go 3.5. I'll go 3.5. Because like the Money in the Bank matches themselves were good. The Bloodline one was good. And it was the other matches that just dragged it down for me. I just wasn't interested.
Yeah, for myself, I'd say 3, just because there was too many filler matches that weren't needed.
Yeah,
there was people showing up that didn't need to be there. There was matches that were there that didn't need to be there. We didn't need Gunther to be fighting Matt Riddle.
Oh, we didn't need that. They've crapped on the credibility of the women's tag team titles.
Yeah.
Cody and Dominic didn't need to be there. They could have easily just scrapped them. It could have just been, the 2 Money in the Bank matches, heavyweight match, and Bloodline.
Yeah, it could have easily just been those 4 matches, but give them more time.
Yeah,
and give other ones less time.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I'll say, again, 3 stars and 3.5 stars isn't bad. It's just, we have our gripes like anybody else does, but that doesn't mean that anybody watching this video might not rate it higher. So, let us know in the comments what you thought of the premium live event. What do you want to see WrestleMania come to the UK? If so, when? If so, would you give us money to go and see it so we could review it for you? but yeah, I'm also
see how many superstars we can get in contact with as well.
Yeah,
get them on the show.
Oh, definitely need that. Toner's good at getting contacts on shows. Definitely using for that one. And we might as well round off with, as it stands, Kev and I were both lower on the card than Toner. Toner only got 2 matches wrong. We got 4 matches wrong. So he currently stands at a 5-3 lead, starting from Money in the Bank. So until next time, everybody, it's been Raw as Ginger. I've been Andrew Durnan. This has been Kevin Tierney. Until next time, good night.
See ya.